Hi, my name is Kenny Nguyen, and this is going to be my field work reflection that I did over the spring for 2026. So I felt that I had grown a lot, not only in my learning, but also my professional growth. I was volunteering at Rise Physical Therapy in La Mesa, and that being observing my field work on a helped me develop stronger skills in demonstrating sound judgment to make sure people are safe. Watching how Anna used her therapeutic use of self to kind of build a rapport with patients. Uh, because we were in an outpatient orthopedic setting, I wasn't really able to select, design, and implement occupation based interventions, but I observed and took notes on how Anna used interventions to help the patient go back to do the occupations that they find to be the most meaningful. And I saw how she often upgrade or downgrade interventions. For example, if there's a patient who can't really pinch the therapy really that well because they have weak pinching grip, then I saw how Anna would use a different kind of therapy to make it more easier for the patient. And finally, I observed on how Anna had really great communication with not only her interprofessional team, which was the physical therapist and the individuals in the front desk, but she also talked really well and built rapport with the clients and their family members. So I thought that was very eye opening for me. That was very helpful for me. The challenges I often faced during the fieldwork was in regards to professionalism. In the beginning, I would arrive, 1 or 2 minutes late, but then when and then eventually I did arrive on time. However, when I arrived on time, I was in a rush, I was hurried, I was panting, and that kind of did not look professional with with me for me, as well as sometimes that when I will often need to get something from my backpack, and then when I come back, the patients are already about to start the therapy session, so they kind of threw off the flow. And Anna kind of talked to me a little bit on how if I do that, it's gonna be very disruptive. That it was kind of like it being a pattern, and that it was a little bit unprofessional. So after Anna gave me that constructive yet really fair feedback, I kind of had to take a step back and reflected on myself. And ever since then, I've been arriving not on time but early, like 10 minutes before, um, 10 minutes before the session starts, and I've been able to kind of in sit in the room without leaving, and I felt that I was much more professional. I was a lot more calmer, and that I and that it did not disrupt not only the patient but also my friends Soleil and Anna. So that was something that I had to grow as a person and professionally. I was able to build a strong rapport. I talked with the patient. I asked them what occupations do they find meaningful or what kind of pain they felt. I was able that was easy for me, but it took a while for me to develop professionally. And after this experience, my goal is to carry over this lesson not only for my future fieldwork experiences, but also for when I get to a job, in the because I want to maintain a professional standard and good image, not only for my um, colleagues, but also for like the clinic or the school or the health company that I'm gonna be working in. So that was something I had to take a step back. So and for my when I was watching Anna do her interventions, I really liked on how specific her interventions were. I wanted to be in um, inpatient neural setting, but after this, I'm really developed an interest in outpatient hands therapy because I found the interventions to be really cool. It was really interesting. It was easier for me to understand, um, because their interventions were interventions to help the patient engage with occupations. I found that was really helpful, and it was really easier to grasp, and that carried over from my future class for my orthopedic classes. So, and also I found that myself to be much more comfortable with talking to patients and interacting with the physical therapists over there. And finally, this field work kind of prepared me as a occupational future role for occupational therapist. Like I said, it allowed me to grow in a professional manner because I knew all the concepts, but there was still a big gap on professional, on just being on time, maintaining good hygiene, like no body odor, and like maintaining professionalism. And after this experience, after reflecting and looking back at the emotional intelligence handbook, I felt like I did make great progress. I was able to develop a stronger self awareness in terms of emotions. There are still a couple gaps, like maybe socially or physically, I have to be more socially aware. But overall, to just wrap it up, I felt that this fieldwork experience and not only allowed me a more interest in hand therapy because this was a thing I was not interested in or didn't have a lot of exposure, but allowed me to grow professionally. And my goal is to maintain this professional momentum throughout my career.